Hey yo. Nick here from Nick's Kicks and Comics, and I'm a little bit melancholy today because I accepted this challenge from Steve Burke, and I'm looking through some stuff about 10 years ago, what I had, what I've sold, and it's depressing. It's depressing. So if I don't have my usual energy, I'm sorry, but blame Burke. It's his fault. It's his fault. All right, I'm just kidding. Everybody, I hope everybody's having a great new comic book day. And I just wanted to hop on, compare some of the eBay sales I've had. I've been selling comics on eBay probably 15 years. So we're going to go through my feedback just to see what I had, what it sold for about as long ago. What's up, Mr. Austin? Just to go through what I had, how different the market was back then, and just to see what stuff might have been worth today. So I will share my screen. And all right. So this is going back a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but I know it was before PGX was mired in the scandals that they've been. So they were a new and upcoming company, and they were still somewhat viable, and I used them because they were cheaper at the time. So we'll see what the market was like, what the price differences were. And I wasn't strictly flipping books. Like, some of these were flips, some of these were because I needed money at the time, and I'm pretty sure that I made profits off of all of them. So but I found one in the feedback, and I was disgusted already. So we'll go through. We'll go through. All right. So you can see Hulk the End, PGX 9.8. All right. Amazing Spider-Man lot. What's going on, Nick? We're just going through my past eBay sales, probably more than a decade ago, just to compare the market then and now, and just to see what stuff is going for now, to see how good you guys, just brand new in the game, really do have it, when it comes to selling anyway. All right, so PGX, the Hulk, Amazing Spider-Man lot, issues 60 through 68. All right, $50. Let's just do this. 60 through 68. 9.8, 35,000, 9.8, 3,500, 2,100, 33 grand, 1,450, 22,000, 2,300, 7 grand, 3 grand. Now, I'm not saying that the stuff that I had was 9.8 for sure. It probably fell in the 4.5 to 7 range. But that guy still got a good deal. Okay, ASM 111 through 119, $50 as well. And again, I probably sold these because I needed the money. But you're looking at the 9.8 prices, 11 grand, 2 grand. Still pretty big deal. All right, so we'll just highlight the bigger ones, and we'll get into the ones I've sold most recently. And that recently was between 2 and 3 years ago, before the market boom and before all the craziness. Joffrey, what's up? Hey, and Sean, if you don't like the title, imagine being the guy who sold it. All right, so all this other stuff was more, and you can't tell what it was. I do have some negatives because I didn't know what I was doing back then. Wasn't a good grader, so. But, okay, we'll see. Bronze, 160 through 170, $20. 69, PGX graded 7.0. So let's see what that's doing. 69, 7.0. All right, so $100, and we'll knock off a whole grade because it's PGX. You still got it for $15. All right. Chromium Spider-Man #1. And I'll take this time. It's already done, bro. You know what it is? It's like I had to at the time, and the market definitely wasn't what it was now. It's not what it is now. All right, I'll take this time since we're talking about chromiums. I did have that chromium 300, and we'll get into the price for that one. Let's see if I can find it. But at the time, and this is really the mindset of collectors back then. You know, you don't think chromium. You think chromium, you think 90s. You think it's all bullshit. It's terrible. You don't really think about print runs or anything like that. I think only really the heavy collectors, and I never really considered. I've learned a lot since coming back in. I can't find it now. But what's going on, AJ? Your father should be joining me on this stream to talk about this stuff. Miss So, how are you? We'll talk about that ASM 300 and then what I sold it for, because that falls into this story too. We all know what that Spider-Man is going for now. That's a $7,000 book now and a 9.8, which I had also. We'll get to that. Oh, no, they have it at $10,000 now. Nice, great. I forget what they call it. It was like some kind of special edition. Marvel Collectible Classics, that's what it was. All right, so a whole bunch of X-Men's. Okay, so this one, 9/8, 1350. I had that book. I think I paid $10 for it at the time, or late 90s, early 2000s. When did it come out? 98. I had it graded, came back at 9.8. I sold it for $35. $35. And in today's market, last sale, they're showing $13.50 in March. So we all know that the craziness of the market now, that could March, April, May, June, 3 months, that book could have tripled by now. All right, let's find the chromium. Let's find the chromium 1. Yeah, this one I had too. All right, they don't have it either. Well, let's move on. A lot of Bowen statues at the time. Ultimate Spider-Man 1 was the craziness. That book was probably the hottest book at the time. They were averaging raw sales, I think, of about $100. Bro, you could have. Honestly, you could have. Yep. And aggressively, I have that book now, and I'm worried about doing the same thing. All right, well, let's talk about this. Walking Dead number 3, $15. Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe, $21. Ultimate X-Men number 1, Dynamic Forces sketch cover, another pretty hot book. But let's talk about this one. Walking Dead number 1, $50. We were talking about that last night on Burke's channel. At a 9.8, I think that topped out at 15,000 at one point. I had this copy and another copy, which I held on to. First one I remember picking up off of the shelf. I think I sold that one for $300 when the show was announced, and this one I sold for $50. So, I mean, it's a long time ago, and you really don't know at the time you're selling. And I'm making profit. You know, I can't really complain then. But looking at it now, Depressing. Civil War is just kicking off. So we're doing this. Look, huge ASM lot, 185 through 301. I don't think I included 300 in there, but still, pretty good deal at $50. Amazing Spider-Man, 101 through 110. That included the first appearance of Morbius. Did I also mention how easy it is here in Texas to own a gun? So as I go through these prices, yeah, 9.8, 15 grand. That'll be more. Yeah, this is my eBay history, Sean. About 10 years ago. I've since switched the name since I picked up the Nick's Kicks and Comics. But yeah, and I mentioned like these books that I'm selling probably landed in the fine to very fine range. So I'm going to kick it off still, $450. Sold 101 through 110, $55. Cable Deadpool, some more Walking Dead, some ASMs through 500. This was around Civil War time, so got my negative. Just bullshit. 300 had the movie coming out at the time. ASM 201 through 297 complete for $350. All right, so let's just run through that. We'll do 5. And what was it? 201 through 297. So this is pretty hot. Gang Wars, pretty hot. 238, 239, of course. Hobgoblin. First Silver Sable. First Black Cat. Oh, no, Black Cat was 195. But still pretty good stuff. Epic stuff nowadays. 252. 350. Amazing Spider-Man 329 through 441 complete. $130. Now look at this one. 298 through 300. 298 through 300. 150, 250. All right, Silver Age, Uncanny X-Men. For me, the X-Men was the thing. I was a big X-Men fan. All right, so I had a complete run of the full first volume, including number 1 signed by Stan Lee, which we'll save for the end of the stream if I'm still alive. All right, 22 through 71, $66. Death of Captain America was a pretty big book back then. 300, big book back then. Let's see what else. Had a lot of Bowen statues that I got rid of. Huge Uncanny X-Men lot. 109 through 138. So we all know what that included. First appearance of Alpha Flight. First appearance of Dark Phoenix. First Dazzler. Yeah, a whole lot of key books. They were the X-Men before then. Uncanny X-Men took hold about one issue. Issue 141 was the last one. As was, I think it was 66 was the last print before they started going into reprints. Before 94, and Giant Size came along. And that whole John Byrne X-Men run was really what made me love comics. And that's what I need to. Those are my grails nowadays. That's what I'll be collecting nowadays. So, yeah, just all these books now, insane prices. So, let's see what else. Wolverine Origins with that Canadian variant. They had one variant that had a Canadian flag on his face. Shout out to Comic Vet and Actual Dracula, who are Canadians. It'll always be macaroni and cheese. Complete 52 with the countdown. A couple of those books now are hot. First appearance of I just thought it was a good deal. It'll lead up into books that I regret recently selling. I don't regret it. I mean, it's sad to see what could have been, and just compare the market then. But yeah, well, if they're 9/8, we'll talk. Just to compare, what the difference is. I mean, if I would have held on to the books this long, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't have sold now either. So I think that's the difference. I mean, I've sold just because I've gotten sick of collecting, because I've needed money, or just a combination of both. So, all right, complete 52 with the countdown. A couple of those books are hot for Black Adam, first Batwoman. Moon Knight, we all know it's hot now, and I think this was the second run, the run with David Finch doing the covers and the art, which I do have some now. 60 gigabyte PS3. Had one of those at launch. Spider-Man Reign, had the book with his little dingus hanging out. 145 through 199 complete. A couple of hot books in there. First Rogue, first Nimrod, one of those ridiculous names. Ultimates Volume 2. This is the killer right here. Lot 94 through 144 for $355. Hey, Hidden Gem, how are you? We're just going through my old eBay profile, books that I sold probably more than 10 years ago. It might even be 15. So, just to compare the market back then. We were talking about this book yesterday, 30 Days a Night, which is another hot book at the time. I think the issue number 1 was going for $150 at the time. It was hard to get in high grade though. There was always, because they had white covers, there was always like some little spine rubs or color rubs. This was pretty big too. Deadpool number 1, his first ongoing series. Ultimate Spider-Man lot, that was the hot book at the time. Uncanny 400 through 490 for $1.25. Teen Titans 1 through 50. This was the late 90s run for $80. Watchmen for $42. 100 issues of Uncanny, $65. All right, so we'll skip through here. We'll find other big books. I know there are a lot. Look, NYX 1 through 5, $64. Yeah, let's see what that one's going for. And I know that I had it in a bag and board since I got it. Yeah, $1,800. Yeah, no big deal. The guy got it for 10% of that. Astonishing X-Men 1 through 21. 6 is a big book. I don't know if any of the other ones are big books, but let's see what else. Oh, yeah. New Mutants 98, first Deadpool, $25. You think that's a steal? We'll get into it in another one. Daredevil 168, Death of Elektra. Again, I was using PGX at the time because it was viable back then. It was cheap and viable. 168, 9.0. Let's see. All right, 290, and we'll knock off a grade. Another $190. We'll take it. Still 45. Let's see. Silver Age X-Men 17 through 49. First appearance of the Mimic. A couple other good ones. X-Men 131 through 460, $50. There you go. 19 graded, 122 through 142. 90% of them 9.0 and up. Deadpool lot. New Mutant 98, first and second series, 1 through 6, $46. Burke, I kind of hate you for making me do this, but it's a cautionary tale for those young guys out there. Lord knows what was even in this. I guess the rest of my collection, the stuff that weren't keys back then, $450. All right, and just so you know, there were kicks at the time. Kick-Ass was kicking off. Ultimate Uncanny X-Men 96, $15. 99, $15. I had an X-Men. I had a motorcycle back then, 142, $15. Yeah, it's negative, and I can say it was bullshit. 1650, 121 first Alpha Flight, $15. 102, 20, 135, 15. Panda, those the kind of deals you're going to give me? All right. I had my own floor washer because I was single. Didn't want to wash the floors. 108, 110, 114, 115, 16, 106, $15. 100 plus issues of Uncanny X-Men, 70. Uncanny X-Men 94, $150. Let's see what that's going for now. Uncanny X-Men 94. Again, X-Men 94. 9.8, $58,000. Still, I'd imagine it's anywhere in between the 4.5 and I'd say the 8 range. So, still for $150, pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. X-Men 130 through 139, 60. Air Jordan 11s, the patent leather everybody loves, which I still love. 129, 15. The last couple of Deadpools, 66, 67. I think 68 is the last issue. Lock and Key, number 1. Even had a 9.9. $102.50. All right, so since we're getting here now, I noticed that these been in the past 5 years, so we're going to get into to see how much the market's changed since then. All right, a couple of mystery boxes. All right, so this is the first one I forgot I had. Amazing Spider-Man 122 CGC 9.8. I'm sorry, it was the Death of the Green Goblin. I thought it was the Death of Gwen Stacy, but that was an issue before. All right, so just for our enjoyment, let's see what the 122 goes for nowadays, CGC 9.8. And 122. Amazing Spider-Man 122. CGC 9.8 last sold in June for $10,000. I sold it for $1,500. So it's up 900% in the past 5 years. And they haven't even introduced the Green Goblin yet in the MCU. So I would imagine that book adds another $5,000 to that. Some more sneakers. And this is the past 3 years. New Mutants 98. This is after the movie. This had to be 2017 or 18. Nobody wanted to buy this book after it topped out at about 1,000. So this is in the cooling off period. I sold it for $700. Still, again, I'm making profits here, but just to show you how different the market is nowadays. $22.50. So that book is up 400%. This was the other one. Uncanny X-Men 266. At this time, I think the rumor of Channing Tatum just fizzled out. He wasn't going to play him anymore. Nobody wanted to buy that book. I had 2 copies. Last sale June 11/50. I sold $350, $333.88. All right. The other famous book I had. This one was graded at a 3.5. But what made this one special was I had went to Wizard World New Orleans in 2012. I bought this book. I had it signed by Stan Lee. He signed it Excelsior on this one at a 3.5. All right, that's not too bad. Plus the signature, but who knows what the signature adds nowadays? So I might have been. Well, let's see. Let's check eBay. But you don't see him sign that stuff with more than just his name. So this one made it kind of unique. And I kind of regret selling that one, but we went to Cancun after that. So really can't complain. All right, not too bad. Not too bad. I think that's also on my Grail list. That's one of my favorite comics ever to read. And these are just somewhat newer ones. This is the ASM Red stuff. We'll get into there. And we'll get into the stuff I didn't sell on eBay. Yeah. I mean, I have to say yes. But I regret it in hindsight, not at the time. I had no problem letting them go at the time. All right, there were a couple of other books that I had that I sold probably to Comic Link, I want to say, or one of the other auction houses. That included an ASM 14 graded at a 1.8. That was signed by Stan, and he had written Excelsior on the cover of that one. That one I sold. Let's see what that one's going for. I would imagine it's not that much in that grade. 1.8, $1,200. I think I sold it probably in the $800 or $900 range. I had an ASM number 9 was the first Electro. That was graded at a 8.5. 8.5. And that book is sold in May for $6,500. I sold it, I think, at the time for a third of that, probably in the $2,000 range. I had an Avengers number 4. That was graded at a 6.5. Also signed by Stan Lee. I sold that one, I think it was about $1,500. And that's tripled without the signature in April, May, June. So 2 months, Lord knows it's up over 5 now. We'll talk about the big one. Amazing Spider-Man 300. I had that book in a 9.8, which I bought off of Comic Connect 2010 or 2011. Might have even been earlier than that. I paid $700, which was at the time the most I had spent on a book. 10 grand now. What else? We did Oh yeah. X-Men number 1. Graded at a 4.5, I believe it was. I sold that one. I think it was $4,000. I think 20 grand now. 20 grand, and that's just on the sniff of or on Feige's word saying that they're coming to the MCU. So that would probably have to be the biggest book I've ever sold. I had a G.I. Joe 21 silent issue, also graded at a 9.8, which at the time I paid $500 for, which I sold once I got back into collecting. I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, for close to $4,000. So that was a good deal, and that movie came out. But I think nowadays people getting into collecting have a big leg up because there's so many more sources of knowledge, a lot of different reasons why blue chip books can explode, other books can explode. I would just say be smart and wait for the right time. I mean, if you run into money issues or something, that you do what you got to do, but it's all about timing. So that was a list of probably 15 years I regret selling comic books, but nobody knew what the market was nowadays, what it was going to be. But I have a lot of bangers now that I think that are waiting for a good time, and I'll push to maybe get some of that older stuff together. Like I said, the grails for me are going to be the Chris Claremont, John Byrne run of X-Men, and a couple of other cover buys that I have from my childhood that I want. But I think the top two on my list would probably be that Silver Surfer #4. I'd take another ASM annual #1, ASM 14. I'd have to get those raw. There's no way I'd have to get those. I can buy those graded, because that's just ridiculous. All right, so now I'm sitting on. I'll just run through a couple of the ones that I have now that will be up for sale in the next year or two. She-Hulk #1 at a 9.8. Vengeance #1, First America Chavez 9.8. Something is Killing the Children. I have a couple of different #1s at a 9.8, including the Black Cape edition, which is limited to 500. I have 3 Young Avengers #1 at a 9.8. I have a Thor 337 First Beta Ray Bill at a 9.8. I have first Kamala Khan at a 9.8, both the Marvel .1 and the Captain Marvel 14. And I have the granddaddy of them all. I have the Giant Size X-Men #1 graded at an 8.0. So that's about it. I think I'm going to close here. Yeah, while it sucks, and I guess I can regret a little bit, I feel bad, but again, who knew what it was going to be? I had no clue. Hold on to your stuff, fellas, unless you really, really need to sell it. If not, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. All right, I'm going to kill it here. I want to thank everybody in the chat for showing up. Appreciate you guys so very much. I'm very surprised that nobody interrupted my live, but it's been a slow day at work. We'll get some Slab Show volumes 2, 3, and 4 out the next couple days. There is no pull list this week because we'll be on vacation, and we'll be back at it next week. So thanks for showing up. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.